Years ago, on a day not unlike this one, the wind got puffed up with pride, you might say. And even though he was bound to just our planet, he sought a way to challenge the sun as to who was the ruling power on Earth. This was no small trophy to be had either. There's a vast difference between the wind ruling the world and the sun ruling the world, you know. Wind is so angry and cold, and worst of all, he is jealous of the sun because the sun is so loved and revered as the giver of warmth and life. Spotting a man in the forest, Wind came up with an idea for a challenge he was sure he couldn't lose. It would be a simple and straightforward contest. The wind said to the sun, "Whoever can get the coat off that man first wins." Sun, wise and confident, agreed to Wind's proposal and even allowed the wind the first try. Slightly shaken by the sun's humble confidence, Wind positioned himself opposite the man to remove his coat. With a fury, the wind unleashed his terrible power, blowing cruelly upon the man in an effort to strip him of his coat. Wind blew and blew. With each breath, he grew angrier and angrier. But the man simply would not give up his mantle. Wind spewed forth his rage and made the man extremely cold. The colder the man got, the more tightly he gripped his coat. Noticing this, Wind was made even more angry and blew even harder on the man. All seemed lost for the poor man. He was losing the strength to hold on to his coat. But then, a miracle happened. The wind stopped. Apparently, the wind can become tired, and that's exactly what happened. In fact, the wind was exhausted. He had spent all his strength in trying to get the man to relinquish his grip on his coat. Observing that the wind was finished, the sun now came upon the man and began to shine with all his brightness and splendor upon the weary mortal. At first, the man hardly moved. After what he'd been through, it was hard to believe that the sun could come out at all, let alone that the wind was worn out. But seeing that the sun was out to stay, the man stood up. And basked in the brightness of the sun's fiery blast. Such was a moment they both enjoyed. Though his home is in the heavens, the sun in all his glory reaches down and fills the whole earth with the power of his rays. Earth, that privileged planet, teems with the energy of its brightest star. And it didn't take long for that weary man to get quite warm standing in the sun. And with a quaint, unceremonious motion, the man removed his coat and walked on happily in the light of the sun. And so it was. On that day, the sun defeated the wind, proving that love is the most compelling force anywhere.